Hey, what's up, guys? Today is June 14th, Tuesday of June. I already said that. So, part two of a different movie for my Justin Hartley movie week marathon. I'm so excited to finally react to this movie. I've been wanting to watch it for the past couple of weeks now, but I knew that I didn't want to just watch it like it was like any other movie, and I'm so excited to film my reaction to it. This is part two, second movie of my Justin Hartley movie week marathon. So the movie I'm gonna be reacting to, that I'm gonna be watching for the first time, is called Another Time. It's about this guy who meets this woman. I think he works with her, or he's just like neighbors with her or whatever, and he falls in love with her, but he doesn't know that he is going to fall in love with her until he does. But he soon finds out that the woman he's in love with is, I think, is engaged to someone else. So he goes back in time just before she gets engaged. So I'm so excited to see how this plot of the movie is about, and how I know I'm gonna love it because I love movies like that. Honestly, I do. I love romantic movies, even the sad romantic movies too. So I'm so excited. And of course, for Monday today, I've been going sort of with like an emo, rocker girl look, and I love it. Like, honestly, I feel like it's kind of so me a little bit, and I don't ever want to change my style to this. But I'm not here to talk about my new style, how I like to dress as. I'm here to finally react to watching Another Time, the movie, and complete the second day of my Justin Hartley movie week marathon. So I'm gonna go react to that now. Go put it on, watch it, and react to it now. So I'll see you in the next part of this video. See ya.
When we were looking up at the stars in the sky, we were actually...
Time to react.
Is Mars the most likely place for it to develop? Dr. Harold Grindstaff thinks in order to answer that question, we need...
I have responsibilities. I'm not a kid anymore. I can't sit in the room and dream. I gotta make shit work. I've got debt I've got to pay off. I've got 40 grand.
The alley within the next 10 miles. There was this other girl who was calling herself that, but she changed it to Ash because her name is
Ashley? I hear the northern lights of Alaska are absolutely breathtaking this time of year.
Okay, I am back with my reaction of watching Another Time. So let me tell you this, like, when I was searching up the movies that has Justin Hartley in it, so I can react to my Justin Hartley movie week marathon movies that I'm always gonna react each day, I saw the movie Another Time on his page when you search him up, search what he's in and stuff. So I read what the movie was about, and one thing I was so surprised is that his ex-wife Chriselle Stiles is in it, and I'm like, this is probably gonna be an amazing movie because she's amazing, he's amazing, and despite what happened between them, they were both amazing in this movie. And let me tell you, this movie, like, what I thought is not what I expected. Like, in the beginning of the movie, he works for this big, like, firm or whatever, and he helps do this, like, acquisitions things and stuff. So he teams up with Chriselle's character, which is Julia. They do these acquisitions for the clients and stuff for like a week or whatever, and he's like boring a little bit because he hasn't done anything in his life other than working really hard and being successful. But he does have like one friend he hangs out a lot with in the movie, and he points out so Justin's character in the movie, his name is Eric Lasseter, and his Eric's best friend in the movie, his name is Cal, and he points out to Eric that there's this woman at the bar who's like probably recently divorced or whatever, is eyeing him and stuff. And when he went to go fill her out to see if what Cal told him was right, and when they're like in the men's restroom, he tells him that this woman just bored him, and I'm like, how was he bored? Like, she was a beautiful woman, and she was like all over him, and she probably seemed exciting. But the one that really like drawn me to the movie was Eric and Julia, hanging out or spending all their working time together to do this acquisition for each client or whatever. And let me tell you, I did not expect these two, Eric to fall in love with Julia, because I thought he was gonna fall in love with Ariel's, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Ariel Catribo or something, character, which is Allie, but he hasn't met her yet, so he falls in love with Julia. And of course, one night when they were already officially done doing everything they needed to do for work, they hang out, they eat ice cream, and after ice cream they talk on this bench about anything or whatever. And Julia tries to inspire him to go out and be an astronaut like he always wanted to be. But in a slight moment, he feels like something for her that it made him kiss her, and she said she had to go and sorry and whatnot. And of course, Eric does not know what happened that would make her want to go. And of course, he talks to Cal about it and whatnot, and the next day he finds out she's engaged to some guy, and of course he finds out when Julia and her fiance got engaged and whatnot. So that same day when he finds out she's engaged, he sits at home watching this science-y documentary or something about this Dr. Joseph Goyer. He's been watching it since the beginning of this movie, every other day. And so he finds out about time travel and whatnot. And of course, he does his homework. He goes to the science college campus or whatever, and he went to go there to speak with Dr. Goyer, Joseph Goyer. But when he reaches there, he finds out he needs personal something to get through. And the security guard, he's just plain out rude. He gets mad at Eric for nothing when Eric was just asking him, nicely for help and whatnot, or to call him, or to call Dr. Goyer, or set an appointment with him. And of course, he gets so mean, he gets so rude, and he yells even louder. And I don't like his attitude towards Eric. Eric was just asking him something very nice, a very nice question, and all he does is just get mad at Eric, and Eric doesn't deserve that. He's just there, nicely and whatnot. He's not there to cause trouble or anything. But this security guard yells at him Eric is starting something when he wasn't. And then finally, Joseph's former colleague, tells the security guard he got this. He's gonna talk to Eric. He talks to Eric about everything. He tells Eric there was an explosion and an accident when Joseph Goyer was trying to succeed in making time travel happen, but there was an explosion, there was an accident, and of course, no one died, nothing fatal happened. He just got fired because it wasn't, allowed. The dean there did not allow Joseph to do that and stuff. So he was fired. He was made a laughing stock. him and his wife got divorced, and of course, Eric finds out where he can find him and stuff. So the colleague tells him he can try Dr. Goyer's ex-wife. He goes to her house, and of course, he asks if she knows where he can find him, and she tells Eric that Joseph's family grandfather owns this like land in like Colorado or Arizona, and she forgot where it actually was. It's probably been a long time since someone asked her about that, and so she tells Eric to try that, and of course he does. But first he goes meet up with Cal at I think this restaurant or something, and they talk about him and that. And of course, Cal thought that this was crazy, that he's fully committed to go time travel back to like 2008 to like interfere with Julia meeting her fiance and try to like win her, but it didn't really happen at the time. Like it didn't happen yet. So he goes to Joseph's like place in Arizona because Cal did his homework and found out where it was, and he talks to Joseph, and of course he gets like Joseph all up in like finally figuring out time travel, because when he did before years ago it didn't really work, and so they had all this time to figure out the equation and what to do and what not to do. And so there was one point in their figuring out stuff or whatever where they have like a little tiny fight and a little sort of spat, and Joseph tells Eric that he shouldn't do time travel just because it's for a girl, and he wants to win, and he wants to try to win her back before her actual fiance gets there. So after their fight, Eric goes to a bar. He meets Ariel's character, Allie, and let me tell you, she looked amazing in there. Like I was like waiting, when is this gonna happen? It only happened to so close to mid ending of the movie, and thank God they met, they talked, and of course Allie tells Eric her dream. She wants an adventure. She probably wants to go adventure to Alaska because of the northern lights there. The time is beautiful, and of course he's like hooked on that a little bit. And then finally we see him like in his hotel room, and he has his notebook out, he has his phone out, and of course he has a picture of the blueprints with the equations on it or whatever, and he tries to like figure out and stuff. And then like afterwards he goes back to Joseph's place, tells them he figured it out, and of course they already figure out what they need to do and stuff. And before Joseph sends Eric back to 2008, I believe, he asked Eric for a little favor, which was to go to SCC or CCS and give himself in that time that note, so that he wouldn't so that there was not going to be no explosion and stuff. So of course him going time travel back in time worked, but of course I thought he was gonna like land in some random place in that time, but it wasn't. He actually time traveled back to Joseph's grandfather's place, but it was like that time it did not look like what the lab looked like when Eric was in. And so he gets outside the house. He has the starter key for Joseph's dad's truck. It didn't really work. Like 3 times when he tried to start it, it kept dying every time. So he decides to like walk it out the harder way, and he goes to this Rio's grocery store, and he meets Allie. So at that time, Allie was not a bartender, And of course, he says some things that sort of like kind of like weirds her out a little bit, but in a good way. And he calls Cal's like younger self that time to come get him and whatnot. And of course, before Cal actually gets there, Eric talks to Allie, and they talk, and then finally him and Cal like meets up. Cal like takes him back to California, and of course Eric like tells Cal everything and whatnot, and of course Eric finds out that he's probably not gonna have time to get to like the college campus, back to the mall where Julia would be at. So he goes to the mall instead. But before he goes like to where Julia's sitting at the mall, outside the mall, he tells Cal one like future thing that he knows about him, and he tells Cal that, oh, and you're gonna come out the closet. And I'm like, wow, you just told your best friend that in the future he's the same guy, he's cool and amazing, but he's gonna come out the closet. And of course Cal's wondering that if he's gay or not or whatever, and if he's wondering if Eric is just like messing around with him or not. And he's still not sure if Eric was actually messing around with him or not. But while he was doing that, Eric goes talk to Julia, and he does like that Twilight line that her fiance said to her. And of course he tries to ask her out, but while that was happening, he sees this kid with a kaleidoscope, because Joseph had a kaleidoscope before and told him that story. So he sees this kid has the same thing, and fighting with this other boy to get his kaleidoscope back. And he finally hits like an epiphany or whatever, and tells Julia thank you and that. So of course Cal drives up, and Eric asked him if he can drive him to the campus in time, and he said yeah. And of course he just lets Julia and her fiance at that time talk and stuff, so he just lets that go. He knew that it wasn't meant to be actually. And he goes to Joseph's work, and of course it's the same security guard that was mean to him in the future, but younger. And of course he's trying to like get through the security guard to go stop Joseph from having that explosion and accident. And the security guard's like explaining to Eric if he will use like, he won't hesitate to use force and stuff. And when Eric like brings his hand up for like a quick second, the security guard ends up like backing away. And I'm like, dude, why would you act so like tough and manly, and then like act like you're afraid right the minute when Eric was swinging his hand up? But Eric wasn't actually gonna hit him. He was just gonna like probably do that with his hand and get angry or whatever. But instead he's like telling the security guard, be nice, because all the security guard's been doing is being really mean for no reason. But then he finally like so Eric finally gets past the guard. He goes to where the lab is. He tries to like get Joseph to open the door and stuff by knocking and whatnot. And finally Joseph opens the door, and he's wondering why is Eric bothering him at this time when he needs to like do his experiment and stuff. And so he gives Joseph the letter, and of course Joseph reads it, and he doesn't believe that Eric came from the future and he met his future self. But it actually worked. He actually believes everything. So I don't know if it's like a couple months later, a year later, where we see Eric in Joseph's house with Joseph and his wife, who he hasn't divorced, thank God. And Joseph asked him what he's gonna do now and that, and he was a good like science assistant or whatever. So Eric said he's fine and stuff, and Joseph tells him that whatever he needs, don't hesitate to ask him. He's there for him. And I think his wife tells Eric thank you or whatever. So they part ways, and we see Eric going back to Arizona, of all places, like I knew instantly right after he talked to Allie when he was in the future, before he went back to the present, the past I mean. I knew he was gonna want to find his way back to her if he wasn't gonna, be with Julia at the time. So he goes to Arizona. I thought that she's probably gonna be working at the at that bar, but turns out she still works at Rio's grocery store. And thank God she was there, because Eric got there and she was there and she was wondering what he was doing there again. And of course he's like, I know you're gonna think this crazy, but would you like to go on an adventure with me? And I think she was asking him to where, and he's like, the Northern Lights in Alaska at this time is beautiful and whatnot. And she's like holding like this box full of like things I think she needed to put away in the store, and she's like busy like smiling and stuff. And I'm like, yes, finally Eric and Allie are gonna get together. I don't know where those two are now in like their story, but I know they're together. So my reaction to this, oh my gosh, like, it blew my mind. Like, it really did. Just like Spring Breakdown blew my mind, but this just also blew my mind. Like, I thought it was gonna be like boring romantic kind of thing, but it wasn't. It was boring, and then sort of like, what's happening? And then it got like a little bit like too much, and then it got exciting. It got more exciting when I went to Allie, and it got more exciting way down in the movie. And I love this movie. Like, oh my gosh, Justin Hartley was amazing in here, and Chriselle was also amazing in here. I hope I said her name right. They were both amazing. I love the actor who plays this calendar, and yeah, like, honestly, I really thought I wasn't gonna like this movie. Well, at least half of the characters in it. But I love everything about this movie, like, and honestly, I never thought I would love to hear something sciencey happening in a movie like that until now. But honestly, like, yeah, like, it was amazing. I love this movie. Honestly, I'm kind of speechless with my reaction. I probably already reacted to some of the things I just said and thought that it wasn't like my reaction, but it is. And I cannot wait for the third movie I'm gonna be reacting to tomorrow on Wednesday, which is June 15th on Wednesday, but today is June 14th on Tuesday, and this is the second movie of my Justin Hartley movie week marathon. And I can't wait for the next couple of movie reaction. But honestly, I feel like out of the movies I decided to react for my movie week marathon this week, I would say this movie Another Time, and the last movie I'm going to be reacting to is going to be my number one. So yeah, I guess that's it for my reaction. So I hope you guys love this reaction video as much as I love filming it, because I did love filming it. And hope you guys had a great day in general. And yeah, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell to always be notified, because weekly or monthly videos are coming. Just need to think of what I want to do in these videos. So yeah, I'll see you in the next movie, part 3 that I'm gonna react. So see ya.